Time now is 8:12 a.m. on February 15th. I slept from 5:15-ish to 6. I'm so tired. Fuck me. Yeah, and it wasn't a good sleep actually. Like when I tried to go to bed last night, there's like music and someone was chanting, and then yeah, not a good sleep. I'm so tired. Ah, fuck me. I'm gonna go to bed earlier tonight, for real. I already did go to bed earlier last night, it's just not early enough. I can't wait for Monday where I could just sleep in. But yeah. Um, so yeah, today from 8 a.m. all the way till 6 p.m. ish, it's gonna be the shoot, and wish me the best of luck, I guess. Shouldn't be that complicated, but there's still a bajillion ways to go wrong. Um, um, I'm so tired. Yeah, I told everyone to come at 9:30 a.m. while me and Vivian show up at 9:15. And then I realized we don't actually have to come this early because in the schedule we have to go all the way back to Vivian's dorm, which is Parkside, for her to change her clothes and then come all the way back to SCA. But we don't have to do that anymore. Like we have pocket we yeah, Vivian is directly changing. Uh, yeah, I might actually die. I might actually die. I'm so tired. Okay. Hope I got everything. Got the DJI Ronin, got the shitty monopod. I got my camera bag overflowing. I got my backpack with props inside. Fuck. Should be everything. 3.5 hours of sleep. We got this, guys. Plastic bag acquired. Let's go. I also forgot to bring my portable charger. Of course. I got nominated for an Oscar.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yo, what the hell?
Oh, that's good. That's
That would be so fun. That would be like a substance moment.
BTS.
Whoa. Oh, okay. Keep talking.
That's a chair. That's a table. Yeah, this is your phone.
Or like before that, like swipe it when I say action.
So don't have any.
It's crazy. Okay. Yeah, so you'll just be looking at the blinking lights is so interesting. That's a wrap on day one. Fuck. Lost my base plate for the shitty monopod. Okay, time now is 8:29 p.m. Yeah, let's talk. I just fell asleep while sitting down on this chair. That's how tired I am. And I barely have the energy to talk about what happened today, but I guess I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I had 3.5 hours of sleep, maybe less, and at some point I suddenly woke up and I was sweaty. Maybe it was 6 a.m. in the morning. Maybe it was 7 a.m. I don't know. It's just suddenly I woke up and like fuck me. Holy shit. I'm so tired. I woke up and oh god, oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I really need to sleep. Holy shit, I need to go to bed at like 3 a.m. tonight. 3 to 10, 7 hours, like, come on. Okay, so I woke up and I felt absolutely terrible. I had, I couldn't even, like, go back to sleep. Because I have to immediately freaking leave. I heated up one egg tart, I ate it, and I left. And, I grabbed everything, my tripod, my Ethan Kwan's gimbal, and I'm like, yep, fuck it, I'm ready, here we go. So I had 4 bags. Backpack, which had some of the props that I wanted to get, that I wanted to use, and a permit paper for that one room at SCA. My camera bag, my tripod bag or monopod, and my the gimbal. I took a bus. I almost missed it. And then I arrived at the USC Village. And the first destination today is actually borrowing a plastic bag, not borrowing, asking for a plastic bag from Dulce. So I went to Dulce and I lined up, and then when it got to me, I was like, hey, is it possible to get a plastic bag? And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. I was really scared that I have to buy something first, but they were like, yeah, sure. So I got the plastic bag, which is great, exactly the kind that I want to use, actually. And then I left. I went to school, walked over to SCA. It was like 9 a.m. and it was cold, and there's no one, and yeah. Oh my, okay. I need to eat some candy to wake myself up, actually. Like, Jesus Christ, I can't do this. Okay, just had 2 pieces of chocolate covered orange stick. Yeah, hopefully that will wake me up a little bit. So yeah, oh god damn. I'm so tired. I don't think I've ever been this tired in my entire life. Like, just so many days of not sleeping enough, and then today just 3.5 hours, and I'm carrying so much stuff and I'm walking around. It's this is all the more reasons why I must sleep. I must sleep in on Monday. Monday is the only day I get to sleep in. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the grind continues. But yeah. I arrived at SCA at around 9 a.m. It was really cold and empty, and it was chill. I realized we actually have a lot of time because a lot of shots here are pretty easy, and I don't need to dedicate a whole hour for Vivian to change her outfit to British Vivian. So, yeah. And then Vivian came, and there's literally no one else, and I'm still waiting and waiting and waiting. Until eventually Kaylin showed up with another black girl. Her name is Jordan, and they were extras. So at 9:50-ish, I was like, yeah, let's start shooting. Let's not wait. Because I can't do too much when there are no extra, when there are no people, because I want people in the shot. A lot of people make movies and they wish there's no one in their shot, like just clean, empty. I was pretty much looking for the opposite today. I wanted it to be crowded. I wanted it to be full of people, and yeah, it's really tough because it's a Saturday, and also Saturday morning no one shows up, and yeah, so that's very lame. So we shot the first shot, which is a shot of Vivian walking, and it's super low angle, and we did several takes, and it was really good. I was pretty satisfied. And it's on gimbal. And then Mia, the Chinese woman, conveniently arrives after that. And then we filmed our next scene where it's Kaylin and Mia just standing by the pillar. And that was also fine. And then at that point we were already like a whole hour behind schedule, actually, even though I was like, yeah, we have time. Because we keep waiting for extras to show up, we wasted a lot of time. And then another thing is, I made like a schedule of all the shots I need. Today I did not follow the schedule at all. The whole thing scrambled. Like, I would film one shot from later on, and then I'll jump back, and I'll jump back and forth and back and forth. It's really messy. And another thing is, SCA just doesn't inspire me. It's not a very inspiring, beautiful location. Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's because I go to SCA a lot, so I don't feel inspired. I feel inspired by places I've never been to, or I've been to only once or twice. So there's nothing dreamy or interesting or just visually interesting about the shoot today at SCA. In fact, it felt a little sloppy. And it's weird because it's the 9th short film I've ever shot. And at this point, I should be like really good at finding interesting moments and interesting visuals. But no, at SCA, I just don't. Especially, this is the worst fucking shot ever. I wanted to film Vivian walking around and sort of feeling really nervous and being surrounded by people, and I couldn't do that at all because there's barely a single soul at the SCA courtyard. Like, there were a couple guys, but then the moment I finished setting up my gimbal, they walked away, And then there was like a family, and then Vivian walked past them, and I couldn't really film them too much. And at some point I was like, I placed the camera in front of Vivian and sort of like used the gimbal, and it just felt soulless. And at that point I was just thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Like, yeah, this shot is in the short film, but I don't really want this shot. I don't like it, I don't want it, I'd rather shoot something else. So, I don't know. Today, the first couple of hours of today was really sloppy, and I did not like it, actually. So, more and more extras showed up. Rachel showed up, and I fully expected her to lend me her 24 to 240 millimeter lens. And we were filming, I was trying to shoot a shot where Vivian sort of like walks away feeling really angry, and it's slow-mo, you know. And I was like, oh, you know what? I should change the lens. So I went up to Rachel and I was like, hey, where's the 24 to 240 millimeter? And she's like, oh, it's not with me. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, it's at home. And I'm like, what? And Rachel was like, yeah, I told you I don't want to let, like, the way she worded her Instagram DMs to me today, I thought she meant she wouldn't let me lend her lenses out to anyone else. I didn't know she meant that she doesn't want to lend me her own lens. So I'm like, well, great, I have no choice. So I use a 70mm, which is not long enough. Just not long enough at all. Especially when we filmed the wide shot, which is supposed to be the first shot of scene 2, where Vivian sort of walks into the SCA courtyard and we sort of follow her in a very, like, voyeuristic way. I wanted to use a 240mm lens. It would look amazing. And so I and Rachel went to the second floor and we started filming that. And again, there's not enough people. At that point, there are only 3 other extras, and that's Kaylin, Jordan, and Mia. And then there were like 2 other people doing their own thing, like random strangers. So 5 people. That is nothing. That's bullshit. And it was a good shot in that filming it was fun. Like, Vivian was all the way downstairs and I had to call her. I had to shout and I had to call her on Instagram and tell her, like, oh, dude, make this change and everything. And then between takes, Audrey, the Asian girl, showed up, and she's looking at her phone and she's like confused. I think she's like DMing me, asking me where's everyone. And I just saw her and she's about to be in my shot, and I was like, Audrey, and she looked up and she's like, and then I was like, sit down. And yeah, and then we immediately rolled. No greetings, no pleasantries, just roll the fucking camera. So we rolled, and yeah, it was so bad. I tried to like use the monopod, but the thing is, the pan is clanky and squeaky, and the thing is so shit. So Rachel suggested just moving the entire monopod itself, as if it's part of the camera, which helped, but it still didn't look so good. So yeah. Yeah, afterwards, Jordan was like, oh, I need to leave. And I'm like, oh, please wait a moment, wait like 5 minutes. we have the classroom shot, we have the classroom shoot, and then that's it. So those 5 minutes became like half an hour, and yeah, we waited for. I did location scout, but I did not scout a bulletin board, which is what I needed for that one shot of like a poster of Vivian standing in front of the poster. So me, Audrey, Rachel, and Vivian, we went upstairs to SCA, like 3rd floor, and found a bulletin board on the board. And Audrey knew where it is, so thank you. But yeah, we just shot a shot there, and it was not exactly how it turned out, how I wanted it to turn out. Didn't turn out exactly how I wanted. But it's fine, you know, can't complain much. And then she changed, and I went downstairs to tell everyone to come upstairs to room 258. And then as we're going, 2 more people showed up. So Jonathan showed up, and then Vivian's friend, or not really that close, but someone Vivian knows, name is Arjun, also showed up. And so I was like, yeah, this is way better now, because now instead of 5 extras, instead of 4 extras, it's 6 extras. And then I asked Rachel to also be an extra in it. So now it's 7 people, which is just not bad at all. Honestly, it's a miracle that I can even get 7 people to show up as an extra. I honestly think it's a miracle, because like in this economy, you go to Instagram and you're like, I need help, and no one helps you out unless you're fucking, you know, Jiayun, you know. So yeah. So we went upstairs, we went to room 258, and it's locked. I can't go inside. And I'm like, what? I looked at my permit, and it does say room 258. It is 258. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to quickly go downstairs. I'm going to go to the operations office and ask someone to unlock the door for me. So a little bit earlier today, I saw Cheyenne like just sort of pass by, and I was like, ooh, hello. I didn't say hi to her. She didn't even see me, but yeah. So I went to the operations office. I opened the door, and I'm just in my head, I'm just thinking, are they even open on Saturday? Thank God they are. I looked, and Cheyenne's sitting behind a desk, and I'm like, oh my God, jump scare. I wasn't really scared. I just want to say that. And she's like, hey, how can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I applied a permit for this room, and it's still locked. And then she went to the computer system and looked it up. And she's like, okay, I'll unlock it for you. And it's just so fucking weird that Cheyenne would randomly show up. But that makes so much sense now. Everything fucking makes sense now. Because in the 6 photos exercise, Cheyenne was able to enter the operations office and take a photo of like the security cameras. So she didn't just sneak in because of her connections and dark magic powers or whatever. She went in because she literally works there. So that checks out. So I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And she's like, yeah, no one really knows that I work here. I asked her if she worked on her 290 yet, and she's like, no, I was supposed to film this weekend, but I don't. Because I'm not ready yet. And I'm like, yeah, I was supposed to film last weekend. So yeah, this is really weird and trippy. So Cheyenne opened the door for me, and I was like, thank you. And then everyone moved in, and everyone got along. I was actually kind of scared that Jonathan would feel like an odd one out, because Jonathan is the only non-USC student here. But no, Jonathan was leading the conversation. I think mostly because he is the oldest one here. But he's leading the conversation. He's talking to everyone, and everyone's listening to him. You know, he's talking about Tyler, the Creator. He's talking about movies and anime. And I'm like, okay, yeah, go ahead. So we went into the classroom, and I started doing my thing again. I set up the gimbal again. I set up and de-set up and set up and de-set up the gimbal so many times today. I'm like getting used to it. And then I changed the lighting. I did some art stuff, like writing the words Film Club on the whiteboard. And yeah, and then Vivian came and we're ready to roll and we're ready to do the whole classroom sequence. And this felt better than the SCA courtyard stuff. This felt less sloppy. But even so, it still feels kind of sloppy. I don't know why. I don't fucking know why. Like, when I made Love and Death and the world is not enough, the locations are so interesting. You know, it's the harbor, it's the seaside, it's the mall, you know, it's the playground. There's feeling towards every location. There's love and loss and feeling of like soulfulness of there are feelings, you know, but it's just an SCA classroom. It's just a regular fucking classroom. It's not that interesting of a location. It's not full of memories and hope and love and loss. It's just an SCA classroom. And Cheyenne's probably thinking, wow, Enoch's making some cheap ass, like simple ass short film then, because I'm using the classroom. Cheyenne probably didn't think that way, but I would think that way. If I know someone who likes making artsy experimental films, who just booked the classroom to film, it's like, okay, I thought you're experimental. Like, what is this? So yeah, it didn't feel that great, but again, I tried my very best. I made sure every shot has the right focus, right performance. But it still doesn't feel right because there's not enough people and crazy what was I gonna say? I'm so tired. So we filmed and and another reason why I felt sloppy is simply because I didn't have sound. I didn't have recorded sound. I mean, I did record sound for each shot, but I did not, like, sound is not a consideration here. Like, I don't have lavs, I don't have boom mics. So it just feels like, oh, I'm going to stitch all this together somehow, sonically. And then, yeah. There's a shot where I started to use the no masks, which everyone was like, whoa, it's so creepy, what? And Jonathan was like, oh, you know, if you want, I can like put it on my face. And I didn't plan for a person to put the piece of paper on their face, but I'm like, sure, why not at this point? So Jonathan did that, and yeah, I was pretty impressed with the slap though. I showed Vivian a clip from Mulholland Drive, and Vivian basically recreated the slap. She turned that way, and I used the tube light to sort of like shine a light on her face so it looks a little better. But yeah, that was a good shot. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then at that point, we were 1 hour behind schedule. We're supposed to finish filming the classroom stuff at 1:30 p.m. By the time we finished the classroom stuff, it was 2:30 p.m. I said thank you to everyone. Rachel started falling asleep on the table, and she left. She stopped being an extra at some point, but it was okay, because later on in the classroom stuff, it's later on in the story and things have changed. But yeah, I said thank you to everyone, and I went to the third floor with Vivian, just the both of us, so that I could film the stairwell shot with the Ingmar Bergman poster of the Passion of Anna. And then we returned to second floor to grab everything, and then we returned downstairs. And then at 2:30 we left. So we have finished the first part of the filming, also the most difficult part with all the extras and everything and the permits. Also, just the sloppiest part. I just don't know why. It just feels really sloppy. And again, I feel bad because it's my 9th shoot. It's my 9th short film. Like, I'm supposed to be really good at this and nothing should feel sloppy. But it does feel really sloppy. I feel like I didn't have everything under control. I feel underprepared. Like, if I came prepared with more extras and a better tripod and just, like, better lens, like, it would work way better, but yeah, unfortunately not. So 2:30, I and Vivian, we walked all the way to her place at Parkside. This is my first time going into Parkside, by the way. And her place is really nice, really cozy, really beautiful. And it's really crazy that a girl just invited me to her place at college, a college dorm, just to film something. It's very random, but I'm glad she placed her trust in me. And she's hungry, I'm kind of hungry, so she's like, yeah, you know what, let's go have lunch first. So in the schedule, we were supposed to film a few shots before lunch, but now we just go straight to lunch. So at 3 p.m. we had lunch, and it was good. The Parkside Canteen, we had actually pretty good food. This is my second time going to the Parkside Canteen. The first time is ITA program. TA2 took me there, and the food this time around is actually pretty good. We got mustard chicken thigh, which I liked. We got salad. We got cheese tofu, which is weird, but sure. And then I had Sprite over it. So that was nice. And then we talked. We had a good I love film set meals. I love film set lunches because you get to socialize with your actors and other people and learn more about each other and just be more relaxed for the second half of the day. So about 3:20-ish, we went back. 3:20, 3:30. The thing is, I told Ryan R. to show up at 5 p.m. at Annenberg. So we had about 1.5 hours to finish all the shots. And thankfully, I was really fast. And we were able to get pretty much all of the shots we wanted. When Vivian is sort of like curled up and like on the ground, and she's looking at Instagram stories, and the whole screen is blue because of my blue light. So it's gonna look good. Not the most like interesting looking, but like I've tried. Making it blue is the best I can do. Yeah. Jesus Christ, I cannot focus, by the way. So, yeah. We did the makeup. She did the makeup. She's turned into the French girl now. And then it's 5:30. I was like, yeah, we're losing light. So I packed up everything. We left and we went to New Annenberg. And we saw Ryan R. And it's my first time seeing him. And what the fuck? He is casual. He is charismatic. He's funny. And in my head, I'm just thinking he's like the opposite of my character. My character is like introverted and sad. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, we have no time to dilly-dally around. No time to waste. I was like, hi Ryan, let's fucking shoot this. So we filmed the shot where Vivian and Ryan sort of bump into each other. And by then the sun is already setting and the sky is already turning purpley blue. And the lighting, man, it looks good, but it's not gonna stick to the rest of the sequence, which is purely daylight. So I don't know, I shot it anyways because I have no other choice. And another problem is there's not enough people. Like, it's like there's so many moments where the entire square, the entire like conjunction has not a single soul. Oh my god, I zoned out again. Yeah. And then at like 5:45, I tried to get the other shots where Vivian sort of like walks from a far distance and goes into the camera under a long lens. First of all, I don't have 70mm is not that long. Second of all, my plate is gone. The base plate for my shitty monopod, it's gone. I was like, what? Where is it? And so I literally just placed my camera on a tripod, like on the monopod, and tried to hold still. And it didn't look good. It didn't look good. It was shaky. And again, I didn't have the right lens. And I filmed another one where Vivian's waiting, and I didn't like the shot either because again, it's shaky and there's no one. So we decided to just leave. Let's just go to Gerontology Center and shoot the rest. And then while we're walking there, we ran into Kaylin and Jordan, the black girl, again, which is such a coincidence. And then we went to Gerontology Center and it was dark already. I was like, you know what? We'll just still film it just for the sake of continuity. But we may have to come together earlier tomorrow to film those scenes. So the scene where Vivian's waiting and everything, I can't do that. I can't just use what I have. To be a filmmaker, you have to be stubborn. And I learned that in The World Is Not Enough. You know, it's like, you got to double down. You know, if that shot is not to your liking, you got to do it again. Don't budge. Don't fold. So, yeah, I'm doing it again tomorrow, hopefully with more people. But it's a fucking Sunday too, so I don't know. And then I filmed a couple shots. There's this really cool blinking light at Gerontology Center, so I improvised a bit and I filmed a couple shots of Vivian standing under that. And then we filmed the pillar shot at Gerontology Center, which worked well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. And then Vivian just left, and then I took a free lift and came back home, and I took a shower, and I'm almost falling asleep. So yeah, today, I don't know what to think. Today started off really sloppy. I just didn't really like how the first half of the day went. It didn't feel like I'm making cinema. It just feels like random, pointless trash, really. It wasn't that bad. I'm sure once I edit it together, it's gonna make more sense. But the first half of the day is just, so clunky and not smooth and not the vision I achieve. You know, I feel like The World Is Not Enough is so close to my vision, it's crazy. Like, because I scouted the locations first before I even wrote the story. So I know exactly where the characters would go to. I know the color scheme, I know the vibe of the scene, I know the mood, I know everything. But today it's different. I have a story and then I need to find a good spot to do it, and we're running out of time and it's clunky and I'm so tired. Yeah, the dorm scenes were pretty good, I think. I think the eyeball, the number showing up on Vivian's eyeball, I'm particularly proud of that because it's such a unique shot and we actually pulled it off. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, nothing else. Hopefully tomorrow goes better. But that monopod, I don't even have a plate. I wanted to borrow the tripod from my trio, but Tina was like, nah, I need it like until Monday. So yeah. So yeah, I genuinely don't know what to do with the monopod. It's kind of fucked, honestly. Which sucks. I really want still shots. I remember Love and Death, like the montage sequence. A lot of shots are not on the tripod, and then Chunhua would say, oh, well, you can just stabilize it in post. And it looked like shit. So I don't want to do that. If I could do it in camera, I would do it in camera. I'm zoning out. I'm gonna eat rice, miso grilled mackerel fish, and some choy sum and call it a day. And then I'll go to bed really early tonight. Like, I don't care anymore. Like 3 a.m. probably, maybe even earlier. Because, like, I can just fall asleep, like, immediately right now. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow goes better. Tomorrow should go better because I don't need other actors. So time should be flexible. Oh, I do need Mia at 1 p.m. Okay, time now is 10:19 a.m. in the morning on February 16th. Yeah, I slept from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. Or actually 4:30 to 10 a.m. Huh? Yeah, 4:30. Hmm? No, I slept from 3:30 to 10 a.m. I think. No, I slept from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. Yes, 6 hours. Um, and yeah, it's not the best sleep ever, but it is definitely better than yesterday mornings. Um, I can't wait to sleep all day tomorrow. I can't wait to do that shit. Um, so yeah, today is day 2 of the filming of Remain in Light. Um, last good news and bad news. Good news is last night I found the base plate for the monopod for my monopod, which I thought was missing, but turns out it's in my gimbal box, or in Ethan Kwan's gimbal box. Bad news is this morning I checked Instagram and Vivian said she feels sick. But like, come on, we have to finish this short film. Today's the only day we can do it. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Even if you're sick, I hate to force you, but even if you're sick, we have to fucking finish this. I feel sick too, actually. Like a couple days ago, I already felt like I may have a cold or something, and my throat feels a little scratchy, and my nose is a bit congested right now. I think, given how crazy the weather has been in the last few days, it's totally normal to be sick. Really. Oh. Um, yeah, and then, yeah. Maybe I spreaded my disease. Maybe I infected her. I don't know. But my throat isn't that bad. My throat is a bit scratchy, but it's not that bad. Like I can still work. Um, but yeah, I also checked the footage of Remain in Light last night, and it's not too bad. But some of the shots are out of focus, which again, I put in manual focus so that I wouldn't focus Hunt. This is why first AC is really important. Yeah, and not much else. We're gonna be filming from 11:30 to 8 p.m. ish. And, yeah. Yeah, so that's why I don't have to wake up that early today. Um, yeah. Um, not much else, I guess. Yeah. I hope Justin T helps out. I don't know how am I gonna do it myself, especially the night section of today's shoot. Somebody has to show up. I forgot to mention that I ran into Maisie too, and we waved at each other. That was earlier in the day. That was when I was filming in the back alleys of SCA. So that's cool. Yeah, I don't think I've seen Maisie so far this semester. So that's cool. That's pretty cool.
Are you trying to see who it is?
Yeah. Ooh, jump scare. Someone just saw me. Okay.
Oh gosh,
Film. Ooh, this is a good angle too.
I know, right? I mean, you can.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this. Whoa. Whoa. Filmmaking.
By the way. Oh.
Whoa. Oh, is this like arts and humanities building?
Yeah, so that's why we have.
Whoa, this is hilarious. I hate community laundry.
Do you have your own washing machine and stuff?
Yeah. Whoa. What? Okay. Okay. Whoa. This is very interesting.
Oh, there's that. Why is she sitting like that? Okay. Something like that.
He never showed up. Of course. Putain! I'm so naive.
Okay, I'll probably try a bit of it. Oh, my hair is such a mess.
I think it's fine.
I'm suddenly super self-conscious now because I'm on camera. Ooh, wait, can you come over? Like stand near me, closer to me? Yeah. Well, that's rip.
Okay, what shoes should I wear?
Whoa.
crying!
Okay, let's roll. Let's try it one. Whoa. Just action, yeah. It's a wrap. Some flashes are happening. Okay, time now is 1:24 a.m. in the morning. And yeah. Wow. Um Wow, I have wrapped filming my 9th short film, Remain in Light. And today's day 2. I woke up, and because I had 6.5 hours of sleep instead of 3.5, it feels way better. Like, way better. You have no idea the difference between a 3-hour sleep and a 6-hour sleep is humongous. I actually felt so much more alive today. And it's only 6.5. It's not that much. Like tomorrow or tonight I'll probably sleep 9 hours or something. Like but yeah, I woke up and I actually had a little time. I ate a slice of apple pie. I packed everything. I got my coin this time. I got my base plate ready in my pocket, and I have everything I need. Hand lotion, everything. The camera's fully charged, SD card cleared. We're ready to roll. We're ready to rock, we're ready to roll. So I thought the bus would come at 11:20. It came at 11:30-ish, 35. And I didn't arrive at New Annenberg until 11:44. So yeah, I asked Vivian to show up at New Annenberg at 11:30. and then I showed up late. But it's okay. It's not. I don't think it's the first time I've showed up late to my own film set. Anyways, um, yeah. So yeah. So let's talk about today overall first before I dive into the nitty gritty details. Today's shoot was fantastic. I am really surprised that it went well today. And I don't really know why, because yesterday felt sloppy. I wasn't a big fan of yesterday's shoot, especially the SCA parts. The first half of the day was so uninspired. But today felt really good. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's because today is just more exciting. But also, I think it's because today I'm more. Two things. Today I have less shots. I have fewer shots to film. But also because today I'm more in tune with filmmaking at USC. Like, as in filmmaking on campus and, like, the mode of that filmmaking. And, sort of like applying my Hong Kong guerrilla filmmaking method to USC. What if the city of Hong Kong is just a university campus? That's basically today. Yeah, it's still so crazy how Love and Death is made. It's just me and some random people I've never really seen before, just like traveling around the city for no reason. And filming something so confusing and random. And there's that, like, energy, the energy of guerrilla filmmaking, which is, you know, the energy of guerrilla filmmaking. You arrive at a location, it just works because the location is beautiful. It makes sense. You have the actors walk in, you find a good shot, you film it, you improvise, you love it. It's full of energy. Yesterday didn't feel that way. Today it's much closer to that. And I always feel that way whenever I film in Hong Kong. Like, for World Is Not Enough and Love and Death anyways. So I'm so glad that I'm bringing that mentality to my film here. I think it's the first time in America where I made a film where I actually really appreciate something's beauty. Well, to be fair, cloud busting though, I do think I found a lot of beauty in that temple. But even so, Objects in the Mirror, it wasn't a beautiful film. The flashback was beautiful, but the whole thing overall is still very, plain, I think. But the US today, Remain in Light, feels like the first time everything just worked well. Like, the chemistry, everything just went together. The performances, the location, the lighting. But may I remind you, it's not perfect. And I think it mainly comes from the fact that I'm solo. I'm like a one-man band for the most part today. There's no DP, there's no sound. So I have to worry about the sound, I have to worry about the lighting, and I have to worry about so many elements all at once. And it's really easy for me to fuck up something, which happened a few times. A few times it sounded terrible. A few times the lighting was really off, and especially the nighttime scenes. With my Sony camera, there's a lot of noise, and it really shows, and I really hated that. And there are a few times where the focus was soft, and I'm like, let's do another take. But the thing is, at night, you can barely tell if the focus is on point. This is why you need a first AC. There are times where I don't know what the next shot should be, because I'm so worried about, like, the performances, and I forget about the continuity or, like, the schedule of the shot. This is why you need a first AD. This is why you need a scripty. This is why I need a crew. There are so many moments where I needed someone to light a thing. That's why I need a gaffer. So where's my crew, But anyways, let's talk about today. We met at New Annenberg to film 2 scenes that was supposed to be filmed yesterday. Vivian is in VC, the French outfit, the quote-unquote French outfit. It's like a polka dot dress with a headband. And I went there. So earlier today, after I woke up, I saw a message from Vivian on Instagram saying that Sorry, I just want to let you know I feel sick today. And my heart kind of sank. Sank. I was like, oh god, what now? What's the new problem? She said she felt sick. Her throat is killing her, and something like that. There's drippy nose, so like running nose. But I read the full message afterwards. But I will still come and film because I want us to finish the film. And I'm like, oh my god, let me know if it gets too tiring. We'll take a rest between takes and drink some hot water. And she's like, yeah, I'm drinking hot tea. So, honestly, truth be told, for a moment I was scared I infected her. Because, honestly, 3 days ago or 2 days ago, I also felt a little bit sick. And now it's the same. I also feel a little bit sick. Like, it felt like someone's scratching my throat. And I just feel tired in general. But I think that's mainly because I didn't have enough sleep and I've been kind of stressed out over my own film and other people's films, and not very healthy, obviously. But yeah, I think everyone's a little sick. I asked Justin T if he's available to come help out tonight, like earlier a few hours ago, and Justin T's like, I'm sorry, I felt sick. And I'm like, oh, well, me and the actress are also kind of sick. And he's like, oh, no, I got food poisoning. And I'm like, what? From eating what? And he said, the food truck beside Target, the Chinese food truck. All of, like, Justin T and his roommates, they all got food poisoning. It's hilarious. I went to that food truck twice to get fried rice. I didn't get anything. And I have a very weak stomach. So, yeah, anyways, I digress. So we met up in New Annenberg. She's fine. She's drinking hot tea. And also, it's the morning, and usually in the morning, you're the sickest for night people anyways. Because Vivian today, this morning, her voice was a little raspy and she was tired. But at the end of the day, at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., Vivian was full of energy. She was like dancing and singing. It's so crazy. And her voice was totally fine. So, maybe it's a morning thing. But anyways, we went to New Annenberg, and we were going to film there, and I was like, let's not film here, because the purpose of those two shots of Vivian C walking from a long distance in a long lens towards the lens, and fast motion of Vivian C sort of standing from a far distance and people just walk past, is to show how many people there are and how alone she is. There's not enough people here at New Annenberg. So I suggested let's go to Trousdale Parkway, because it's literally the main entrance of the school, probably the most populated place on campus. And it's a fucking Sunday, and like, come on. So we walked over there. I put down my camera and put it on my tripod, and we just started rolling. And after one take, I got the long distance walk shot. Got it in one take, easy peasy. Nothing is to be done. Again, if I have a 200mm lens, it would look way better. And also, if there's more people, it would look way better. But this is the best I can get. And you know what? I ain't complaining. And then we did the fast motion shot. And this time around, Vivian is standing beside a pillar at Taper Hall. And it's a majestic wide shot. Very majestic. She's tiny. She's in the middle, tiny. And like groups of families and like couples just like walk around, going in and out of Taper Hall, just walking around in general. Very interesting, and a good shot. I like it. The thing is, when I wrote this scene, or when I thought about this scene, I didn't even, like, my first thought is Doheny Library, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. It's a tiny path. Then I thought, oh, maybe like outside, like just outside of a big structure, like there's this like neuroscience building or some building like Seoul Price School of Public Law, or like, I don't know, like GSF for New Annenberg, but Tabor Hall also works, so you know what, it worked. It's fine. And then I also forgot to mention that yesterday when Vivian was in the French outfit in VC, and she's walking, and I was using the gimbal following her, and she's giving, so like she's angry. She actually gave people like death stare, and people were like taken away, which is so cool that Vivian's really committed to this role. She's gonna commit to this role a lot more later in the day. So anyways, we filmed the fast motion scene, the time lapse, and it was one take wonder, one take, and we're done. And then afterwards, we're good. So here's the plan. She's gonna walk all the way back to Parkside, to her dorm, to change. And I told her, you know, I can just stay here. Or she was like, no, you can just stay here. And I'm like, yeah. So I stayed here, and then I'm like, because after that, it's supposed to be Mia and Vivian's confrontation at DMC, where Mia slaps her. And then I suddenly remembered that there's one shot at the Gerontology Center of Vivian transitioning from C to D. So I moved everything to D. I also listened to music, which I think helps a lot. I should do this more on film sets. I should listen to music before going to set, because it really, really helps you get into the mood. Not even get into the mood, just like lighten up. Just, you know, have some energy. So, yeah, I took everything I have to Gerontology Center, and big problem. The lighting's completely different. Last night at around 6 p.m. I filmed a shot of Vivian C walking angrily from pillar to pillar at the Gerontology Center. And I intended that shot to be in daytime. But I thought, well, that's the best we can do. And today, we could have reshot that, but it wouldn't have made sense. So the entire sequence is Vivian bumps into Ryan R. Shoulder bump. And then Vivian is really angry. She continues walking, and she's at Gerontology Center. Now, because she and Ryan's shoulder bump was sunset, so it makes sense that the gerontology scene is after sunset. But now we're filming when it's clearly daytime, so the whole lighting has changed. It's darker inside, there are no lights on, and the walls are bright. So instead of dark grayish, it's like bright red. So it's completely different color, and I don't know how am I going to edit it together, but yeah, around 12:45, Vivian came in sporty outfit, ponytail, blue athletic shirt, white shorts, sneakers, and we filmed the shot where Vivian C transitions to Vivian D, Vivian D being the sporty one. So Vivian A is the normal one, VB is British, VC is French, VD is sporty, VE is crazy. That's how we like define it. And I'm so glad Vivian's also in tune with what I say. Like when I tell her, no, that scene is VA, and then VC is this, and then VB does this, she understands, because we have established this like jargon, which is so cool. All this for a 290 project, you know? Maximalism, really. So anyways, we filmed that. I don't know how I'm gonna edit it together, but I will somehow edit it together. So the next thing you know is we went to Dulce to buy matcha, because I wanted Mia to be drinking matcha in the scene, in the slapping scene, because it's such a bad bitch thing to drink. Iced matcha in America is such a bad bitch drink. And also, I haven't really spent any money for the short film, so I'm like, well, might as well buy matcha and call it part of the budget. So I bought everyone matcha, went to Dulce, we waited in line, I and Vivian, we talked a little bit here and there, and I bought 3 cups of matcha. Mia asked for no sugar, so I asked, can it be no sugar? And they're like, oh no, we can't do that. Because it came from a dispenser. So I'm like, fine. So we got 3 matchas. It came out to $16. So with $16 today and about $8 of printing for the props, I spent $23 on this short film. This is easily the cheapest short film I've ever made so far in my life. $23 short film. 23. So anyways, we got the matcha and Mia's already there. Mia went to SCA and I told her, no, it's at DMC. So Mia met at DMC. And then we sat down and oh boy, what is going on at DMC? There's a giant white sheet and a bunch of lights shining into it. At first I thought it was a photo shoot, and then I realized that they're actually filming inside, and the giant white sheet is a diffuser. So as it turns out, a group of MFA film production students are filming something at DMC right beside where I wanted to film, which are the 3 circular tables, a sitting area beside DMC. And I wanted to film in a certain direction, but that certain direction is taken, essentially. There's a table and it's taken, so I have to switch on the other side, which is less visually interesting, but it's still similar. So we filmed it anyways because I don't want to change the location. This is not that serious of a short film. So we rehearsed it a few times, and yeah, some interesting shots are filmed. Filmed a very interesting wide shot. And yeah, the monopod is still shit, but I really used the best of it. There's a really cool shot where you could see the giant archways outside of DMC. You know, architecture. My professor loves that. Well, there you have it. Architecture, wide shots, shots with rhythm, symmetry, with patterns, beautiful, nice. And then the gimbal shot of Vivian walking towards Mia, slapping her lunchbox, and then Mia sits up, and then they have a little tussle, and then Mia slaps her face. Mia slaps Vivian's face. We rehearsed that many times. Also, Mia didn't drink her matcha because it turns out she's allergic to sugar. She like throws up if she ever eats sugar, which is so crazy. But she told me it's like ice cream is okay and chocolate is okay. But like milk with sugar is really bad for her. So it's interesting. It's like like lactose and sucrose intolerance only if it's at the same time. I don't know. So I drank 1.5 cups of matcha today because I got 3 cups of matcha, and then me 1, Vivian 1, and the last cup I just split in half between the 2 of us. Should have given one to freaking... Oh, yeah, should have given one to the other girl. I'm so stupid. Yeah. So... Yeah, we filmed it. We rehearsed it so many times because Mia was like, oh, I thought I was going to slap a boy. I would slap really hard. But now it's a girl and I don't want to slap her. So we rehearsed it many times. We tried different angles, and I'm glad we upgraded the shot to make it so much more interesting. My original direction is Mia stands up and then walk towards Vivian, and Vivian backs off, and then Mia just slaps her. That doesn't make any sense. There needs to be some provocation. There needs to be some kind of like build up to that slap. So they push around, there's anger. So we did that. And during the slap, my camera has to angle towards Vivian's face so that the slap can transition to the slap in the classroom. So if it's the same angle of like behind Vivian, like OTS, then it's not going to work. It's going to turn jump cut. If I film Vivian more on her face this way instead of this way, more like towards this instead of this way, then if it cuts to this, it makes more sense. If this cuts to this, it makes more sense instead of this cutting to the same. So yeah, and then that happened in front of a pillar so that my reflection wouldn't happen, wouldn't, you know, wouldn't be seen on the glass. So we did this take so many times, but it worked out. And then I did a medium shot of Vivian. I did a medium shot of Mia, and then we're done. And I planned this 4 shots to be done in like 50 minutes because it's just 2 actresses and me. And we spent like more than an hour on this. And that's what I realized today's whole set as well, is that I was like, yeah, I'm a very fast filmmaker. I can film all these shots very fast. But today was actually slow. Like, I took so many takes for each shot because I keep finding mistakes that I've made, and I'm so aware of every mistake I make. Like, if the lighting is bad, if the angle is bad, if the performance is not okay, if the location is not okay, if the sound is not okay, I'm like, let's do another one. Like, I'm so much more conscious of my mistakes now, which is good. I'm more detail oriented now. Like, again, in Love and Death, some of the most important scenes, some of the most important shots are shot in 2 takes. Like, I'm so much more careful today. Okay, anyways, my gimbal ran out of battery, or Ethan Kwan's gimbal ran out of battery. And also Olivia, the Chinese woman from Nanning, he suddenly sent me a photo, and I'm like, wait, is the photo gonna be me? Yes, it is. The photo is me setting up the camera on a monopod and Vivian behind me. Or I think I'm looking at footage and Vivian's looking at the footage. And yeah, so that's kind of funny. I'm a filmmaker, what can I say? So now that part is over. The next part is yeah. So it was like 2 p.m. The sun is gonna set at 5:30, so we immediately went back to Vivian's dorm. We went to Parkside. I put down my stuff and I found a way to charge my gimbal. It's very easy. Just plug a USB line and then boom, boom, boom. And it charges really fast. And while charging, Vivian D changes back to Vivian A. And also, we're going to be filming voiceover, recording voiceover. And I was like, yeah, voiceover is going to take half an hour. And then it took us a whole hour. So we rented a room at Parkside dorms. And I didn't know that because Parkside dorms have 3 buildings. One is called Parkside Apartments. One is called Parkside International. And one is called Parkside Arts and Humanities. But they don't mean anything. They're just names. But theoretically, Parkside Arts and Humanities are a dorm for people who do arts and humanities shit. That's why there is a music room where there's a piano and there's noise canceling padding on the walls. And you can just book a room there and just for a whole hour. That's what Vivian did. It's so sus. Like, I was holding nothing. I'm recording Vivian's voice on my own phone. And Vivian's holding like a folder with the script in it. And we're just a guy and a girl trying to book a noise canceling room for an hour. It's so suspicious. But I'm just filming voiceover for a crazy psychological horror short film. So yeah, we went into a room and we recorded all the lines and oh shit, I forgot to ask Vivian to do the line about USC. See, now I'm thinking back and I'm like, fuck, I missed this shot, I missed that shot. I also forgot. You know what, I'm gonna DM Vivian to record herself. And yeah, you know what, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Yeah, might as well. If I can salvage it, I will salvage it. If I can improve it, I will improve it. Okay, I will DM Vivian tomorrow to send me a voice recording of like, this is USC, this is where it happens, and her own breathing sounds. Because I also realized that I forgot to record that as well. Yeah, so anyways, we recorded lines and we tried different accents. even though I've never been a dialect coach, I was able to teach her how to do the British accent, the French accent, and the Mandarin accent. I told her, don't let the script restrain you. So, like, improvise and try different lines, say whatever's in your head. But it's not easy for her to do that, so, like, we had to figure out new lines and write it down so that she would know exactly what to say. But yeah, I would repeat one line, then she would say one line, and then at some point, I have to teach her how to speak Japanese, which is feels so wrong. She's a quarter Japanese. I'm not Japanese at all. But same thing happened yesterday when Ryan R and Vivian had a small conversation, and Vivian told Ryan R, I'm quarter Japanese. And Ryan R was like, oh really? Dekiru deki janai desu ka? Which is, can you speak it? Or can you speak Japanese? And Vivian's like, oh no, I can't speak it. I'm learning on Duolingo. And it's so funny, Ryan R is a Filipino-American guy. This is so weird. And I jokingly said, dekiru yo, as in, I can. And then I'm like, just kidding, I actually can't. But, it's so weird, right? But yeah, I was teaching Vivian how to speak Japanese and teaching her, like, pronunciation. Like, kurushi, like, ooh, not ooh. And then, I had her speak, like, Mandarin and Cantonese. But surprisingly, we were able to nail the accents and everything. It wasn't too difficult for Vivian to do these accents, actually. Not too difficult. There are a few bits and pieces. Like, when doing the British, the word sitting, she unconsciously says sitting. Because the American stereotype of a British accent is, alright, mate, it's Tuesday. But that's like a stereotypical British accent. Like, actual British accent, like RP, received pronunciation, is like bottle of water. It's like, it's a Tuesday. It's not that exaggerated. And then same with like French accent is that Vivian unconsciously makes the last syllable high. So like, we were supposed to meet and have coffee, like, and I'm like, no, you don't have to do that, just coffee, just say coffee. He did not show up, and I was like, oh, he did not show up, just don't do the thing. I know it's European, and she's like, oh, sorry, I unconsciously did it again. And then like the Mandarin accent is even more difficult, so I had to change a lot of lines. And I asked Mia earlier to like insult Vivian so that Vivian could have some ideas of what Mia would say. Also, when I wrote the script and Vivian's supposed to speak in Mandarin or like say things with a Mandarin accent, I didn't expect the girl who slapped her to also be a Mandarin speaker. But now that that's the case, it makes so much more sense, and I didn't even anticipate it. Anyways, so we recorded lines. It's 4:30. We're hungry. We went to Parkside. I had a good dinner, like roast potatoes. We got like beef. What's the brisket? Beef brisket, but no flavor. Pulled pork with a lot of flavor. Broccoli, which is not bad, and a small slice of pepperoni pizza, and then I got some dessert, like frozen yogurt, and like this s'mores thing. It was pretty good, and that apple juice. Damn, Parkside is actually a good place to eat food sometimes. I did not see that coming. But yeah, so both days' lunch, I did not pay a dime. That's crazy. Thank you, Vivian. Yeah, we talked more and more. I talked about my favorite filmmakers, talked about my favorite art house theaters. We talked about acting, talked a lot, which is cool. And then it's like 4:45, and the sun is beginning to set, and we're like, fuck. So we immediately went back upstairs to Vivian's dorm, grabbed everything, and we went out. We went to Roski to film the shot of VA getting scared at VD. So yeah, I almost forgot that VD has one more shot. So VD, the sporty one, has a shot of her walking out of a pillar and seeing VA. So VD is a sporty Vivian, VA is normal Vivian. So sporty Vivian walks out of a pillar, laughs at normal Vivian, and normal Vivian gets shocked. I almost forgot to get that shot, and thank God I looked at my shot list. I didn't even look at my shot list. I just remembered. It's so risky. So, I'll sit down. I'm so bloody tired, man. Vivian says lift. She doesn't say elevator. Even I say elevator. Sheesh. My backpack. Okay. Yeah, so, yeah. I tried to get into the Roski building through the back door beside the entrance to Fisher Museum of Art, and it wasn't open. And I was like, well, fuck. I guess we'll have to find a new location. And then I showed Vivian a photo of the inside of Roski building, and Vivian's like, oh, what? I know how to get in. This door is locked, but you can get in from another side. And I'm like, oh, okay. And we did get in from the side, just literally right beside. And I'm like, oh. So thank God I showed Vivian the photos of the location I want to go to. And Vivian's like, oh, duh, I filmed here like a few days ago for my dance video. Because Vivian directed a contemporary abstract dance video. And it's her directorial debut, and she had a producer and a DP and everything, and she had a shot list, and I was like, you're already doing better than my first short film. Like, when I made my first short film when I was 12, I didn't know what a shot list was. I didn't know what is a 3-act structure. Like, I had no idea. Anyways, we're at Roski, we filmed the reaction shot, and at some point I was like, yeah, so my friend Justin T cannot show up. So we're kind of fucked, because I want to film a shot where I cameo, and it's going to be on a, like, someone has to hold the camera. And the thing is, in theory, I could place my camera on my tripod, but the thing is, my tripod doesn't even fucking work. And at some point, I think before we had lunch, Vivian asked her friend if she could come, and her friend said yes. It's another Asian American girl. Her name's Claire, and she's free at night. So from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., from 5 to 9 actually, she just came to help out. So it was perfect. So we filmed a cameo scene. We found a cool little location within the hallway between the Roski quad and the door that was locked, even though it's actually not locked. And we just filmed that scene, the cameo. Got it in 2 takes. I looked awkward and skinny, and I don't like being in front of the camera, but I have to because it's Enoch Live tradition. And it worked out fine, and then we moved on. And then every other scene we need to film is in Roski. Except not. So, thank God I have help, because I have a lot of stuff like monopod, gimbal, lots of bags, and Claire was able to help me pack a bunch of stuff. Like not pack, but like carry a bunch of stuff. So we filmed a shot of Vivian looking up and overlapping with the head, which, again, had I not done location scouting like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't know there's a giant head statue at that location, and I wouldn't have written the scene. The location gave me inspiration, and that's what I realized, is that if I scout locations first and then write the script, it's actually much better than if I write a script and I have to force myself to find locations that somehow match my story. I know that's how filmmaking works always, but I think finding a location first gives me the right inspiration. That's exactly what happens with Love and Death and The World Is Not Enough. I know the location, I get inspired first, and then I write the script. So yeah, the giant head statue looked beautiful, and because it rained a couple days ago, the giant head statue looked like it was crying. Let nature, let the environment tell the story. Now that's fucking poetry. So we filmed that on a gimbal. It's getting dark, lighting is getting tough and rough, and I had to ask Claire to help me light the scenes constantly. Yeah, and then now we enter the most critical part of the entire shoot. That is the climax, and that is Vivian A, normal Vivian, seeing crazy Vivian in screams in the back alleyway. And it was nighttime, it was dark, it was cold. I left a lot of my equipment outside at the entrance of the Fisher Museum of Art, and no one stole it, so thank you, because there was literally no one there. We went to the back alleyway, and holy fuck. I've made horror short films before. You know, Dreams of an Empty Street, Objects in Mirror. Today is the first time in my life where I actually got scared by my own creation. I literally wrote and directed the scene, and I'm holding the camera. I make the scene happen, and it scared me. And I was like, Vivian screamed, and it was just a rehearsal, but the camera was rolling. I was like, cut! Because I wanted it to stop, because I got freaked out. I had goosebumps. I didn't want to admit it, because maybe Vivian's the actress. Of course she isn't scared, even though her character is scared. Maybe she was scared. And Claire's beside me. I hope she's scared too, because I'm scared. And I made this scene. It's so crazy. I've never experienced something like this. It helps that the location feels sketchy. It was dark. And at first I wanted to film it towards a Manson Center. But there's lights in the back and it's not that scary. And then Vivian was like, why not film the other way? That other way looks scary. And I'm like, oh yeah, it does. You're right. And then we rehearsed a couple times. And the thing is, it's very dark. And testing out the lighting took forever. That's why that entire scene took us 1 hour to film. That shot took us like a whole hour or something. Or not a whole hour. Like half an hour? It's just a long time. Because we had to figure out the lighting. So the tube light that I asked Claire to, to show, to use, it has different modes. So I wanted to go into strobe light, like flashing lights, Lynchian, Twin Peaks style, only when Vivian arrives in front of the camera and it's a close-up. When Vivian's walking towards me, it's still a light, but it's very soft. So when Vivian comes close to the camera, Claire needs to press the M button, which is mode, and change the mode of the light so that it turns into flash. So it was tricky to coordinate everything. And I can't even think about coordination now. All I think about is scared. Because it's a creepy alleyway and the staircase leads to some weird part below ground and it's making weird knocking noises. And everyone's a little creeped out and it was cold. And Vivian looks, and then Vivian keeps walking. She looks again, and then she looks at the thing behind, beside the camera. That's the mark. And then she goes, ah! And I realized that I haven't screamed. I've shouted in the last couple of years, but I haven't screamed on top of my lungs for so long. And I genuinely was not prepared for Vivian's scream. Like the first scream she did during the rehearsal. And I even told her, like, you're only, like, it's like 2 takes max. Like, I'm not gonna hurt your throat anymore. And she's like, no, I'm good. But no, she walked up to the camera, and I wasn't focused on her. I was focused on the camera, the frame. And her face is just the whole frame. And then the light starts flashing, and she goes, ah! And her eyes are, like, darkened, and I was, like, there was genuine chills. I felt, again, maybe I'm just like tired and cold, and that made me more susceptible to fear. But I got jumped. It wasn't like I wasn't like jolted. I was just like, and it actually felt unbearable. I was like, cut. Like I wanted it to end because it's like screaming at me. Also, I think it's because Vivian's looking behind me, so it almost feels as though there's a creature standing behind me. So maybe that's part of the reason why that moment felt so scary. But I'm just thinking, like, after we shot the thing, Vivian's like, okay, that's good, yeah, let's go. And we all left as if nothing happened. But, like, that was fucking horrifying. And I made this happen, and it scared me. I wrote and directed the scene, and I'm holding the camera, and it's still scaring the shit out of me. And that's a good sign. I think if you don't get scared by your own filmmaking, you can't scare the audience. If you don't get sad by your own filmmaking, you can't make the audience sad. If you can't excite yourself with your filmmaking, you can't make the audience excited. So I think that's a good sign. So yeah, we filmed 2 more takes. And I was like, oh god, we're going for another take. So I'll have to endure that scream. God damn. And I wanted the scream to last longer because it benefits the scene. So in my head, I'm like thinking about filmmaking. And then the other side of my brain is like, I don't want to be screamed at anymore because it's genuinely horrifying. But then it should be longer because it's better for the film. So I'm like director and I'm like scared. So yeah, that was really good. And then afterwards, Vivian laid on the ground, unconscious, 1 take, and then we went back to Parkside, where Vivian changed to VE, the crazy one. It took a while for her to change into new clothes and makeup. And it's a little tricky. I know nothing about makeup, so it's all up to Vivian to do her own makeup. And wow, she looked like the freaking Joker. It was kind of hilarious, but Vivian's face, like her facial expression, she managed to make it actually scary. And yeah, and she also looks so different. I can't believe this is the same person who was like nervous and wearing a ponytail, or like hair clipped at SCA. I can't believe this is the same person. Wow. Again, it's my own directing, but like Jesus. So yeah, so Claire, me, Vivian, we went back to Roski to film the alleyway. So 2 more shots. One is the crazy Vivian walking up the stairs at Roski, at the alleyway. 2 is her dancing. So, she did this like the Shining song, the Kubrick stare. Which is like funny, but when it's dark as fuck and you only see a small part of her face, it's actually kind of scary. And she started like making noise, like maybe it's because her friend Claire is here, so she got like loosened up a lot, which I think helps with the scene. But she was like singing Shakira's Africa song and laughing around, and she made these weird noises like and Claire was like, yeah, if I see this randomly, I will shit my pants. Yeah, but the staircase was also scary. There was like weird knocking noises, and Vivian got scared. Vivian's like, okay, let's finish filming this and get me out of here. And oh my god, the lighting took like 20 minutes or half an hour to set up because the lighting could never go right. The thing is, I can't see anything on my camera because it's too dark. My human eyes can see it because my human eyes are powerful, but cameras are not. I can turn up the ISO, but it's so fucking noisy, it's ugly. I can add denoise filter on Adobe Premiere Pro, it could not save the shot's ass. So the solution is lighting. But the thing is, I only have a tube light, and when we shine the light over on the staircase, it's too bright. And it doesn't make sense. I want the creature to be obscured. So I told Claire to point the light there, but also block it. But then she blocks it too much, and now it's not really working. So we tried so many times. And then at some point, Claire was like, yeah, at least if you make it bright, you can darken it in post. If now it's too dark, then you can't fix it. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. So we filmed so many takes. Genuinely creepy. And then we filmed a close-up of her face, of Crazy Vivian's face. And that was not as scary as her own scream. And this is, again, a good thing because I think the reaction to fear is even scarier than the action to fear. But it was a good shot, and I think it worked. And then we went to the dance, do the dance. So I actually don't know where to film the dance shot, which is the last shot of the whole film. Originally, I was thinking somewhere near Roski, but there isn't a place where there's a sole source of light, like a lamp, and it's a really wide place. So Vivian suggested the Scene Dock Theater, and I'm like, sure. And so we went over there, and Vivian wore sandals. She was like, okay, I'm gonna go barefoot later. And I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, you want me to be crazy and weird, right? Then okay, I'll go barefoot. Which is crazy. That's dedication to my own film. Reminds me of the time, like, Love and Death, Ray Chan and Emma Leeton started improvising. It's like so crazy. Whenever an actor like commits to my short film, I feel honored. Like, it's so crazy. I didn't even ask her to go barefoot. Like when Ray Chan and her ex-girlfriend like kissed in Dreams of an Empty Street, I didn't even ask them to do that. They just did it themselves. More like the producer asked them to. But it's so cool seeing Vivian commit to my short. So that moment was a bit like just a little bit because it was really late at night, and we were overtime. It's like 8 something p.m. and we went to different locations, and we're like, yeah, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. So we arrived at Scene Dock Theater, and honestly there isn't a single location that fits my vision. So I found an okay street lamp near Scene Dock, and I'm like, let's just film there. There's also the Gerontology Center, where it looks way scarier and way more visually interesting, but the problem is that the light comes from the side and it's very soft. Which is, I want it top down and hard, like Spotlight. So we did 2 shots, actually. We danced, like Vivian danced, one near Scene Dock and one right beside Gerontology, which is also beside Scene Dock. But yeah, one take wonder, because Vivian knows how to dance. She played the Miles Davis track on her phone, and she just started dancing, just spinning in the air, ballet, and yeah, it just worked. And did it again, and boom, that's it. And then at 9 a.m. exact, we wrapped. And yeah, we walked back to Parkside. Although Vivian in her crazy makeup, another Asian girl walked past her in the dorm and looked and gave a look like. And then the guy at the lobby saw Vivian and just stared and didn't say anything. And
all three of us were just laughing. We're like, wow, Parkside gets a little quirky at night. But yeah, that's dedication. Like, I bet my ass other students in 290 probably doesn't even take their short films like as seriously as mine. But yeah, it's an incredible feat. It really is. And I'm so tired. Hopefully it turns out good. But yeah, today's shoot is so much more interesting. Vivian got slapped. She screamed. She danced in weird makeup. She recorded voiceover, tried different accents. Very eventful day. And I think I got a lot of good shots. Even though they're not the most beautiful, they're not the most ideal. Yeah, they're good. I'm so tired now. I'm gonna watch a film. I don't think I'll even finish the film. Yeah. I'll sleep all day tomorrow. I'll sleep in, but tomorrow night I'm going to Christian R's place to build the pit. And then next weekend I'm going to Cliff's place, actually, for Justin the Malaysian guy's last shoot before he leaves, and then 2 weekends later it's Pit. So 3 weekends, 3 short films. Why not? But yeah, let's see what Cheyenne's short film's gonna look like. The game is on, baby. The game is on.